Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into something truly fascinating. What if ancient philosophy and modern science are telling the exact same story about the human body's own energy? We're going to look at how this idea is moving out of the realm of mysticism and right into the world of measurable science. Let's just jump right in with this quote from Randolph Stone. "The soul swims in the cerebrospinal fluid." Now, what on earth could that possibly mean? Just hang on to that thought, because it's going to be the key to our entire journey today as we explore the hidden electrical and energetic nature of our own bodies. To even begin to understand that quote, we've got to go back, way, way back. Thousands of years ago, long before we had all our fancy tools to measure what's going on inside of us, ancient cultures were already mapping out the body's invisible wiring. They had this deep belief that life was so much more than just flesh and bone, that it was animated by a vital force. So in the Hindu tradition, they called this life force prana. Over in China and Japan, it was known as chi or ki. Now, the names were different, but here's the thing. The core idea was totally universal. This idea that there's an unseen energy flowing through all of us, keeping us alive, and that keeping it in balance is the secret to good health. Now, according to the ancient yogic texts, this prana doesn't just slosh around randomly. Oh no. It travels through this incredibly intricate network of about 72,000 channels they called nadis. The best way to think about it is like a subtle, energetic circulatory system running right alongside our physical one. And you'll see how this concept gets mirrored by modern science in a pretty amazing way. So yoga really zooms in on three of these channels. You've got the central one, Sushumna, which lines up perfectly with our spinal cord, the home of our central nervous system. Then on the left, you have Ida, which is linked to our rest and digest parasympathetic system. And on the right, Pingala, which mirrors our fight-or-flight sympathetic system. I mean, come on, that's an ancient map that looks shockingly and precisely modern, right? Okay, I know what you might be thinking. For centuries, this was all considered, well, a bit out there. Energy channels, life force. It sounds like stuff you can't really prove. But what if modern science, with the right tools, has actually started to measure an invisible field coming right off the human body? And this is the tool that changed everything: the squid. It's one of the most sensitive magnetic field detectors ever built. This thing is so ridiculously sensitive that to get a clean reading, it has to be locked away in a special, magnetically shielded room, totally cut off from all the magnetic chatter of the planet. And inside that super quiet room, researchers found something incredible. That's right, the human body produces its very own biomagnetic field. It's incredibly faint for sure, but it is there, and it's generated by the very things that keep us alive. All of a sudden, the invisible was made visible by our instruments. Your heart's electrical activity, for example, creates a magnetic field of about 50 picoteslas. Now, to put that into perspective, that's about 1/1000th the strength of the Earth's own magnetic field. It's tiny. But here's the key. It's consistent, it's real, and it's the measurable energy field coming from your very own heart. And the brain, with all its electrical signals firing off, produces an even fainter field, sometimes as low as 100 femtoteslas. That's even smaller than the heart's. But what really matters here isn't the size, it's the fact that it exists at all. Science is confirming that our bodies are, in a very real sense, electric. We're producing these fields that, honestly, we're just starting to wrap our heads around. So, okay, these fields and these channels exist. The logical next question is, can we consciously influence them? Can we do anything about them? Well, ancient yogis would have said, absolutely yes. And they believed the master key was something we all do every single second of every day: breathing. The main technique for this is called Nadi Shodhana, which literally means channel purification. It's a very specific, rhythmic way of breathing. As you can see, you gently close one nostril and breathe in slowly through the other, and then you switch to breathe out. You're creating this gentle, rhythmic cycle that's believed to perfectly balance those Ida and Pingala channels, the calming and the activating sides of our nervous system. All right, let's look at how this ancient breathing exercise isn't just some relaxation trick. It's something that creates real, tangible, measurable changes in our body. The science behind it is, frankly, just as compelling as the philosophy. And the data is just, wow, look at this. Study after study has shown what happens when people do Nadi Shodhana. You see these statistically significant drops in both systolic blood pressure and in heart rate. You are literally, just with your breath, telling your entire cardiovascular system to take it easy. And the list of benefits just goes on and on. It goes so far beyond just simple relaxation. We're talking about improved heart function, better lung capacity, your memory gets sharper, your attention gets better, and it seriously reduces stress and anxiety. It is a full system reset, started by nothing more than just breathing in a controlled way. It's pretty incredible. So, how does this all click together? We have these ancient ideas about energy channels, we've got modern science measuring a real biomagnetic field, and we have a breathing technique that produces real health benefits. So, what's the physical connection? Right? This is the final and maybe the most fascinating part of this whole story. If these Nadi channels are a real thing, what are they physically made of? How could your breath have such a powerful influence on them? Well, the answer might be hidden in the very fabric of our bodies. So emerging research is pointing to this one molecule, hyaluronic acid. It's a substance our body naturally makes that attracts and holds onto water. And the theory, well, it's pretty wild. The idea is that when there's a lot of it, these molecules can coil up together, forming these tiny insulated water-filled tubes that are highly conductive. Let's be really clear here. These could be the actual physical, biological structures of the Nadi lines, literal superhighways for bioelectric information. And that brings us all the way back to where we started. Remember that quote, "The soul swims in the cerebrospinal fluid"? Well, we now know that controlling your breath can directly influence the flow and pressure of that exact fluid all around your spine and brain. This fluid bathes the pineal gland, and it contains this cocktail of powerful neurochemicals. It's like the ancient practice was a way of using breath to mechanically stimulate this incredibly potent system. So as our scientific instruments get sensitive enough to measure the subtle fields and fluids of the body, we're finding that they align in these remarkable ways with maps drawn thousands of years ago. It leaves you with a pretty fascinating question, doesn't it? Is modern science simply rediscovering a profound ancient understanding of the human body, or are we just now beginning to build a brand new map that confirms all their wisdom? Thanks for digging into this with us.